Lackey, I feel like, has been a little bit of a ticking time bomb for a while now, and I know he provides, yeah, not just when he's on the mound, but just because of his age and the way he pitches and moving to a smaller ballpark. I think that could be one. Aside from that, I've gone back and forth on the Justin Marges signing 2 or 3 different times because I keep trying to factor in that he's be playing in those NL West ballparks that are huge, huge ballparks. And as bad of a season as he had last year, he's pitching in the bandbox and U.S. Cellular Field, and his home run rate spiked, and he really got bit by it. And I think moving to a great defensive team like the Giants always put on the field and to a stadium that's like that, and also have the opportunity to play that many more games in Petco and in Dodger Stadium. On paper, it looked like it was a way too big of an overpay at $90 million, but part of me says, man, the Giants they're one of those teams where things always break the right way for them, and I think that might be one that I'm a little bit underselling. But aside from that, there haven't been too many strange fits so far. It's been kind of an interesting offseason in that regard.
Hey, Wick, this is Todd again. The flip side of that question, of course, is which player is going to benefit the most from his move to his new environment?
That's another good question as well. As I was talking about Samardzija, that's one of those great pitching profile and park fits. Another one I think is kind of a under the radar move because he signed so early was Jordan Zimmerman. 5 years at $110 million for him, given what the other massive numbers that have been floating around for other pitchers. Really kind of seems like a bargain the farther into the postseason you get. And he's moving into a Tigers team that is going to need him to perform very, very well. And getting out of the situation he was in Washington, the way that team kind of crumbled last year, he almost, was a little bit – he's always been a little bit under the radar. He was on such a talented pitching staff. But he's a guy who's got a no-hitter to his name. He's been a consistent guy who can throw innings. And I think he'll fit really, really nicely in that Tigers ballpark that keeps balls in the yard. And I think that's a really strategic signing that they made. There's been so much money that's been thrown around ever since he signed so early that he's kind of been put on the back burner. But he's a really, really talented pitcher who I think is going to be in a great fit with Detroit.
As a Tigers fan, I'm very happy to hear your opinion on that. And talking about money, which team overpaid the most for what they got? Or maybe not just money, maybe as far as talent they gave up in a trade.
I think that's got to go back to the Diamondbacks. They gave up Dansby Swanson, they gave up Player, and they gave up, who am I forgetting, Ender Inciarte, who, from a pure just wins above replacement perspective, was more valuable than Shelby Miller was last year and has more team control. So it's obvious that the Diamondbacks pinpointed exactly the player they wanted, said that's the one need we have to fill, and thought they had enough behind them to make up for it. But trading the number 1 overall draft pick 6 months after you take him for the major league leader in losses that's something that would have been unheard of 7, 8, 10 years ago, before sabermetrics really took more of a hold in front offices than they have right now. So it's odd from a traditional perspective, but then even dig deeper, and I like Shelby Miller. He's a good pitcher who obviously had a bunch of bad luck last year, but that's a huge, huge overpay. From a Reds fan perspective, I kind of compared it to the Matt Latos trade from 2012, where they gave up Yasmani Grandal and Yonder Alonso and Brad Boxberger, which was 3 of their previous first-round draft picks for Latos, but that was a massively different run-scoring environment at that point. Finding a pitcher like Latos with 3 years of team control at that point was so hard to do that you had to do that overpay. Nowadays, trying to find a team that will give up one of their hitting prospects for a pitcher with any team control left is impossible to do. And you look up, and Arizona gave away 2 of them. So it's really hard for me to justify that one unless they've got some sort of background knowledge that we just don't have on some of the players involved in that trade. But it just on paper seems like they gave up a ton, an absolute ton. And it's actually weird. You factor in the trade from last year, where they dumped the back end of Bronson Arroyo's salary onto him, and they threw in Touki Toussaint to make the deal go through. That was their other first-round pick from, I think, 2013. So they've given their last 3 first-round picks all to the Atlanta Braves for Shelby Miller and for $10 million off of Bronson Arroyo's contract, which that seems like a bit much.
Yeah.
Hey, Wick, this is Ted once again. My internet is fixed, but we want to thank you for being on Baseball, Beer, and Barbecue today. But one last question. We want to ask, where can you be found on the interwebs, on social media, you name it? If people need to get in contact with you, how do they do it?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at WickTerrell. That's WickTerrell. And I write over at Red Reporter, which is redreporter.com. You can find us on Twitter at Red Reporter. There's a good solid group of us that rotates through who's right what, and I've known most all of them for many years, and they're a bunch of good guys with good baseball minds, and as serious as we try to be in terms of transactional analysis and whatnot, we also try to write with a little bit of humor, because what's writing about baseball if you can't have a little bit of fun? So swing by and check us out if you can, and we try to have good stuff and good content up year-round, even when the Reds aren't out there losing 98 games.
All right, thanks, Wick. Yeah, have a great week, and hopefully we'll talk to you next season, and hopefully maybe more in this off season if you have a chance.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Speaking of humor, Todd, I know, writes for NGSC Sports, and as do I. And Todd, I don't know if you read his last article, Ted, but
I didn't know.
Yeah, Todd's last article. I said Ted. I didn't say fucking Todd. Jesus.
I don't read my. Why would I read my own stuff? It's awful.
Hey, fucking Todd. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I said Ted. So anyway,
Jesus,
Ted,
Mary and Joseph. It's the right time of year for that. Stop talking to me. It's not your show.
The Holy Family. It's the Holy Family. And Mary was awfully nice at 13, according to God. So, Ted, I don't know if you read Todd's last article. Ted is hung up. He's like, I got to go to church tomorrow. This is ridiculous. Anyway, but
we're praying for you, Ted. You won't answer our prayers, but we're praying for you.
Todd's last article is a lot of tongue-in-cheek as far as industry goes, our amateurish industry goes. I don't know if you read it. It's pretty funny, so you should read it. It's definitely a shout-out to Todd's last article. And I kind of, taking that from Todd, I kind of did the same thing with my bowl predictions. I was asked to do bowl predictions on NGSC Sports. I mean, the article's up. I think it's entertaining. But for anyone looking for a bowl prediction, anyway, most of the predictions are just, as I put, most probable, wildly inaccurate prediction, and have nothing to do with the actual outcome of the game. So, anyway, so that said, Ted, I do want to say, I know you have 2 Late Night Parent podcasts that were up this week. Are you doing any live shows before the end of the year is up, or is it going to be more podcasts?
There's a live show coming on this Wednesday. What are you talking about?
Okay. All right. I know you're angry because I said the thing about Mary. That's fine. The Hebrew. So what's coming up on Wednesday night then? Live on Late Night Parent.
Oh, nothing much. We're just going to have Neil Nickel.
Greatest promo ever. What are you doing on your next show? Not a whole hell of a lot, to be honest. I'm just going to be sitting around, no guests. I don't even know if I'll talk.
We're gonna have Neil Nickel from the Social Media Business Hour on.
Nickelback will be on.
We're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about, I guess, the hottest tech gifts that you could purchase this year.
Did you say tech or Ted? The hottest Ted gifts?
Ted gifts. Ted
gifts. Sounded like
TECK. Tech.
I'm getting 2 Teds. I'm getting 2 Teds today.
I got 2 Ted dolls to say, yeah, awesome, my mom's getting a Ted doll.
Oh, my goodness. Tech. But, yeah, we're going to be talking that. And you know, we're going to be talking some serious, because last couple of weeks we've been talking about bullying, cyberbullying, and the shootings that have been going on at the colleges and, you know, across America. So we're gonna have a fun show this upcoming week. Nothing dark, nothing talking about death. It's gonna be a very lighthearted show, and it's going to be our next to last show before Christmas. So yes, I said Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone. Okay.
You're whoa. It's happy holidays.
Whoa.
We have a lot of listeners out there who are transgender. So, so I'll ask you, Ted, first. Have you bought all the gifts that you need to buy this season for your family?
I did 99.9% of the shopping already. I don't like to deal with the crowds, especially that type of crowd. I prefer to be inside of a stadium or, venue where I'm enjoying like a game. But that type of crowd, I totally want no part of it because those people are just not nice.
Todd,
So,
what
yeah,
about you?
Lee,
Yes.
I've got a line on a Ted That Wet spell. If you want to pick an extra one up, or get it shipped to you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, actually. If you could do that. Text me off air, but yeah, I definitely want that.
No problem. I'd be happy to hook you up. I'm actually gonna head up to my native land. Well, actually, I'm not, because that's Michigan.
Michigan?
But actually going to be in. No, I'm not going to Michigan. I'm actually going to be up in your neck of the woods, as you know, in a few days, and then hauling my evil children back down here to enjoy a sunny, warm Christmas. Although they could stay there apparently, because there's no such thing as global warming. Hello, 73 degrees in Tennessee in
Actually,
frickin' December.
sorry to interrupt for just a second. Before the show, my daughter and I ran to Kroger to get some Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, and I wore shorts and a T-shirt. And not because I could, and it's freezing cold. It's because if I had worn pants and a long-sleeve shirt or a jacket, I would have been too hot. It's about 65 out there right now, yeah.
So that's just crazy. But, whatever. By the way, have you guys seen the helmets that Navy is wearing for the Army-Navy game?
Yeah, they're awesome. Have you seen all of them,
awesome.
though? Have you seen all of them?
Yes, I've just seen all of them. And they are amazing. And Army-Navy game is just, that's just an awesome tradition.
Well, and Keenan
they're
Reynolds is awesome.
helmets.
He's an awesome football player, and people should tune in just to watch Keenan Reynolds. But do you want to explain the differences in the helmets?
I don't want to explain the differences, but basically there are 7 different helmets, and they're position-oriented, and I'm not sure who's wearing what. But for instance,
explain the differences in the helmets. You didn't want to, but you did. Is that what it is?
Well, like aircraft carriers.
Is that
I don't know
Christmas
who's wearing
is coming
the
up,
aircraft
and you're
carrier.
making me cuss on the air. Okay,
I don't know who's wearing the cruiser. I don't
your
know
contract
who's wearing the
after
battleship.
next year, Ted is re-upped, okay? I know you can't
but
keep
there are
talking.
7
but we're gonna look
different
at you,
helmets. There's 7 different helmets. They're had paint, and I have no shame. I have no.
Thank you.
I'm about to be muted. But they're lovely helmets.
You no shame, sir. This is the
I have
worst
no shame.
in the show
Army
ever.
though, Army is going old school, and they're just wearing leather, not leather helmets. They're coming out in full leather, like Key West. So it'll be you got to tune into the game. Live from Philadelphia.
The funny thing is,
edition.
you're wrong about that. There's leather involved, but they're actually coming out to Tougher Than Leather, the Run DMC, and they actually are wearing the Run DMC hat, so they won't have much protection. And they are wearing sneakers, which I'm not sure really works well on turf, but we'll have to see. Anyway, for people putting up with me today, I appreciate it. Next week, actually, we're going to be joined by Kevin Steen, who is a top prospect in the Boston Red Sox organization, so we're looking forward to that. I think I have bought everything. My wife and I always get things like things done to the house, and she always says, "That's it, don't buy me anything, I'll be upset." So I always, try to buy her one thing. But that's our show. You guys have any final words?
Yeah, you probably make it a mop, don't you? You buy her a mop every year. That's why she doesn't want presents from you.
I buy me a mop, actually. Just buy a mop. Seriously. So, Ted, do you have any final words?
Yes, I just wanted to note that I just signed with Rock Sports Nation, so they'll be in contact with you guys for my contract negotiation. Thank you so much.
And with that, I do want to say we talked late night parents, and we do have a Seahawks show this Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We will have Danny Kelly, editor of Field Goals, on again to. I don't want to jinx it, but because surely the Ravens can't beat the Seahawks, right? This Sunday. I mean, that would be. With Jimmy Clausen, the funny thing is, this is the second time the Seahawks have faced Jimmy Clausen this season, but he's been on 2 different teams. So he started off with the Bears, and they beat the Bears, and now he's with the Ravens. So that surely hasn't happened very often. But anyway,
Don't call me Shirley.
Well, I'll